We had an amazing talk this morning from 3 very dedicated speakers. And something sitting there as was resonating with me as a patient, and I also was approached by a couple of other patients, that I wanted everyone to make sure that they took the right message home from what the doctors were saying. When they keep saying things like, a label isn't important, we know that actually that's one of the most important things when it comes through dealing with the symptoms, spending a life of seeking a diagnosis and seeking validation. And sometimes we forget when we're totally immersed with what we're doing in terms of this research in the paper, that we imagine that everyone knows what we're thinking and what we're talking about. And what Dr. Levy, because I know he said it quite a few times, what he meant was, it doesn't matter which label it is, but we all know that the most important thing is that there is a label, and that label is respected. And that when you go to a doctor and you tell colleagues that you have either hypermobile EDS or one of the other 13 forms, or hypermobile spectrum disorders, that people take you seriously, that you get the care that you need, that you get the management that you need. And we know that that wasn't happening before. So whilst we were trying to tighten up what the terms were and what we were calling it for research and science, and that was our primary objective, these doctors took it a step further, and they were like, we don't just want to make this better for science, we want to make this better for the patients. So they created these hypermobile spectrum disorders so that those who didn't fulfill the criteria weren't left alone. You are all still part of our DAZZLE, no matter what diagnosis you have. And for those that are here for the first time who don't know the work of the society, who don't know what we stand for and what we believe and what drives us, and especially who haven't heard me talk, because I'm a patient like one of you, I'm not a doctor. We are driven by the fact that every single person in this room and around the world who has these symptoms and lives with this pain are validated and get the diagnosis that they deserve and that they need. And a label is everything. But it doesn't matter what label that is. That's what we're saying. HSD is not less than hypermobile EDS. It doesn't mean that you're not as ill. You can have someone in a wheelchair with TPM, with a neck brace on, with HSD, and you can have someone working 9 to 5, fully active with hypermobile EDS. We just want you to understand that when we say a label doesn't matter, it doesn't matter which one. So don't panic if you don't fulfill the new criteria. These doctors and the patient experts spent over 1.5 years finding a way so that everyone was included, so that everyone has a label, and so that everyone is validated. So I just want you to all go home with that message and not worry, because these people are all doing the best for us as well as science. And with that in mind, I just want to remind you all that we're driven by you guys. You know, when you come outside of our world here and we say, do you know what hypermobile EDS is? Do you know what vascular EDS is? Do you know what HSD is? No one knows, no one cares. So when people are saying, what's the future of research? What are you guys doing to change our lives? We can't do it without your help. You'll see in the center of every table there's donation cards. Whether it's $1, $10, $100, $1,000, every pound, dollar, euro that people give helps us change your lives for the better. Talking about validation, talking about the need, a few weeks before I left from London, I was actually speaking on Sky News with a mother. Her 13-year-old daughter, just 13, had struggled for about 5 years to find that label, to find that validation, for people to believe her, for people to understand her pain. And she ended up in a psychiatric hospital because nobody believed her. Finally, she got her diagnosis, and she was working on her way to getting out of that unit. And she was given release days. One of those days, she went to her horse stable where she keeps her horses. And everyone thought she was getting better because she'd spent all these years being denied the care and management. But most importantly, what her mum told me is that no one believed her. And that afternoon, her mum came round to the horse riding stables and found that her 13-year-old daughter had hung herself. To me, that's incomprehensible. I just can't understand that that's happening in this day and age. And we need to stop that. That must never happen again. And we need your help to make sure that happens. So help us label as many people around the world as we can with the correct thing. Let's get them managed and let's help them get cared for. So please help us.